Some trucks are built to take on any road, challenge limits, and make history. Others are born with big promises, bold looks, and cutting-edge technology, only to be shelved, forgotten, or outright cancelled. Some were too ambitious, others too expensive, and many were simply out of place and out of time. But they all have one thing in common. They still draw attention today for their originality, unusual design, or for trying something no one else dared. They left their mark as museum pieces, abandoned concepts, or legends of the trucking world. Today, we're diving into 10 of the most unusual trucks ever cancelled. Machines that tried to innovate but didn't survive the road to reality. What went wrong? That's what we're about to uncover. Ready to explore some of the boldest ideas that nearly took over the highways? Stick around to the end, because the last truck on this list is so outrageous it looks like something from another planet. But it's real, it was built, and it still exists. Ford C750. Built in the United States in the 1970s, the Ford C750 was designed as a medium-duty urban truck, focused on municipal services and maneuverability in tight city areas. Its forward control cab offered great visibility and easy access, making it ideal for garbage collection, construction work, and city maintenance. The goal was to combine toughness with practicality and low operating costs. It came equipped with a 391 cubic inch V8 gasoline engine, equal to 6.4 liters. It produced around 235 horsepower and delivered solid torque for short-haul operations. The 8-cylinder setup provided instant low-end power, but it came at the cost of fuel efficiency. The truck featured a 5-speed manual transmission geared for torque. Rear-wheel drive and leaf spring suspension kept the structure solid, though comfort was minimal. This was a workhorse meant to take a beating day after day. Visually, the C750 had a tall, narrow cab with straight lines. Inside, it was all bare metal, hard benches, and basic gauges. The V8 had that deep, throaty American growl, powerful but not overbearing. The truck's biggest issue came in the early 1980s. Soaring fuel costs and tightening emission standards made gas engines obsolete in the segment. Fleets quickly moved toward diesel alternatives that were cheaper to run and easier to maintain. Some operators even swapped out the original engines for diesels from other brands just to extend the truck's lifespan and protect their investment. Seems like a solid work truck brought down by timing, right? The next one went all in on size and strength, and turned out to be too much for the market to handle. AEC Mammoth Major. Launched in the UK back in the 1930s, the AEC Mammoth Major was Britain's bold answer to the challenge of hauling massive loads across poorly maintained roads. The name said it all, and the truck lived up to it. It rolled on 8 wheels, 4 of them duals, to better distribute weight and carry heavier loads. Its 11.3-liter inline-6 diesel produced around 150 horsepower, but back then, it was plenty to move several tons of material across long distances. Its strength came from high torque, especially useful for climbing hills and navigating rough terrain. The truck used a 5-speed manual transmission, which required skill and muscle to operate. Semi-elliptic leaf springs were fitted on every axle. Rear-wheel drive was standard, and handling this beast took experience, especially in city streets. Its extended chassis, tall cab, and massive wheel setup made the Mammoth Major a head-turner. The diesel engine gave off a deep, steady rumble, classic British reliability, not speed. It was widely used for transporting coal, minerals, and construction materials. The rugged design allowed it to go where many trucks couldn't. But over time, logistics evolved. Articulated trucks became more efficient, and the Mammoth Major grew outdated. High maintenance costs, its excessive weight, and lower transport efficiency led to its retirement. Today, only a few are still around, mostly seen at vintage truck shows across the UK. One restored unit is even rumored to have appeared in an official royal parade as a symbol of Britain's industrial heritage. But if you think that was over the top, the next truck pushed design boundaries even further and earned a nickname that says it all. Foden S21. Released in the UK in the 1950s, the Foden S21 stood out for one big reason: its looks. The truck was so quirky it earned the nickname Mickey Mouse, thanks to its round headlights mounted above the fenders, resembling cartoon ears. But despite the playful appearance, this was a serious machine built for heavy-duty work. Powered by an 8-liter inline-6 diesel engine, it produced around 180 horsepower. The S21 was designed for medium and long-haul cargo transport, delivering reliable pulling power across varied terrain. It came with a 6-speed manual transmission, with gearing made to hold steady speeds on hills and uneven roads. Rear-wheel drive and leaf spring suspension were standard, giving the truck its signature toughness. Design-wise, it was unique. The rounded front and bold headlights gave it a visual identity unlike any other. Inside, the cabin was basic but functional, with high seating and excellent visibility, a big deal in that era. The S21 served mostly on intercity routes and general freight delivery across the UK. But its bold design split opinions. Many fleet owners preferred a more serious look, which hurt its popularity in some sectors. Eventually, high production costs and competition from more conventional models led to the S21's discontinuation. It became a collector's item and a regular feature at vintage truck gatherings. One fully restored model was even called the friendliest face at the show at a global heavy transport expo. If this one stood out for its looks, the next truck was built to be a moving stage and cost more than a house back then. GMC Futurliner. The GMC Futurliner is one of the most iconic and unusual trucks ever built in the United States. Created in the 1940s by General Motors, it was developed exclusively for the Parade of Progress, a traveling roadshow designed to bring futuristic technology to towns across America. It wasn't built to haul freight, it was built to amaze, and it did. The truck was powered by a 4.9-liter inline-6 gasoline engine, delivering about 145 horsepower. That's modest, but the Futurliner wasn't about speed. Its mission was to move slowly from town to town, transforming into a high-tech mobile stage for public demonstrations. It had a simple 4-speed manual transmission, rear-wheel drive, and heavy-duty leaf spring suspension. The chassis was built to support the truck's bulky structure, not for driver comfort. Visually, the Futurliner was a showpiece. Tall and wide with curved bodywork in red and white, it looked more like a sci-fi railcar than a truck. Side panels opened like theater curtains to reveal stages, displays, and even small theaters. Used from 1940 to 1956, it toured the country as GM's vision of tomorrow. But the high cost of upkeep, its massive size, and technical complexity made it unsustainable. When the Parade of Progress ended, the Futurliner's run did too. Only a handful survive today. One fully restored model was auctioned off for over $4 million, a jaw-dropping price for a truck that never carried a commercial load. If that one was spectacular and conceptual, the next truck tried to bring innovation to real-world freight hauling, but ended up paying the price. ERF LV68GX. Built in the United Kingdom during the 1970s, the ERF LV68GX was an ambitious attempt by the British manufacturer to modernize its line of heavy-duty trucks and compete directly with more advanced European models. The idea was to offer a balance between classic British durability and updated solutions for long-distance hauling. Under the hood, it featured a 12-liter inline-6 diesel engine producing around 220 horsepower. It was a setup focused on torque and long-term durability, ideal for inner-city routes, long climbs, and heavy loads on regional highways. The transmission was a 6-speed manual with long gear ratios, built for low-end torque. Rear-wheel drive and a suspension system with reinforced leaf springs and hydraulic shocks offered solid stability, though the ride was still stiff and comfort was minimal. Visually, the LV68GX leaned into a cleaner look, with a relatively aerodynamic cab for its time. Inside, the layout was functional and bare bones, although some versions came with a fold-down sleeper bunk, a rare convenience appreciated by long-haul drivers. The engine had a deep, steady rumble, adding to the truck's strong road presence. But soon, reports of mechanical issues started surfacing, including frequent leaks and premature gearbox wear. On top of that, high fuel consumption and hard-to-find replacement parts made large fleets shy away. With more reliable competitors entering the market, the ERF LV68GX slowly faded out. Interestingly, one restored unit was converted into a food truck in northern England, and it still catches attention for being a rare truck that few people even recognize today. And while this one tried to innovate without breaking the rules, the next truck on this list didn't follow any rules at all. Chevrolet Turbo Titan III. Unveiled in 1965, the Chevrolet Turbo Titan III was a concept truck built to showcase General Motors' futuristic vision for heavy-duty transport. It was never intended for mass production, but instead designed as a technological and visual statement that blended advanced engineering with daring design. What made it truly stand out was the engine. Instead of a conventional diesel, the Turbo Titan III used a gas turbine engine, similar to those found in aircraft, capable of producing around 280 horsepower. The six-cylinder setup delivered constant torque, with smooth operation and virtually no vibration. The transmission was automatic, built specifically to handle the turbine's high revving output. It had rear-wheel drive, and the suspension was considered sophisticated for the era, aiming to provide comfort and stability at cruising speeds. Visually, it looked like a rocket on wheels. The cab had aerodynamic lines, a panoramic windshield, and sleek metallic finishes. Inside, the dashboard was more aircraft than truck, packed with gauges and glowing controls. Despite all the innovation, the project ran into major issues. Fuel consumption was sky-high, maintenance was extremely complex, and the operating costs were totally impractical for any commercial use. Whatever comfort it offered was quickly outweighed by its inefficiency. And if you've been enjoying this deep dive into the wildest trucks that never made it to production, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It really helps the channel grow and ensures you don't miss any upcoming episodes featuring these machines that pushed the limits. In the end, the Turbo Titan III remained a showpiece, limited to exhibitions and events. But its futuristic design still influences truck concepts to this day. And if you thought this one looked like something out of another world, the next truck took that idea and pushed it even further. Steinwinter Supercargo 20.40. Developed in West Germany during the 1980s, the Steinwinter Supercargo 20.40 was one of the most radical ideas ever introduced in road freight transport. The concept was simple on paper, but extreme in execution. Eliminate the traditional cab and place the driver in an ultra-low cockpit between the front axles. It ran on a 12.7-liter V8 diesel engine mounted at the rear of the chassis, behind the cab, and produced around 408 horsepower. With 8 cylinders in a V configuration, it delivered steady torque and helped lower the vehicle's center of gravity. The automatic transmission, a rare feature in European trucks of that time, had long gear ratios designed for highway efficiency. It used rear-wheel drive, and the full air suspension on all axles provided an unexpectedly smooth ride for such an unconventional design. Visually, it looked like a hybrid between a sports car and a tractor-trailer. The cab stood just 1.17 meters tall, which meant the driver had to operate the vehicle in a nearly reclined position. Forward visibility was good, but overall comfort was clearly compromised. The main advantage of this setup was its ability to accommodate taller, longer trailers without violating legal height limits, a key benefit for logistics companies aiming to increase cargo volume. That potential caught some attention, but most of the industry responded with hesitation. Complex maintenance, awkward driver ergonomics, and fear of the unknown quickly ended its chances. Only a few prototypes were ever built. Today, one surviving unit is preserved in a European museum, a reminder that sometimes innovation shows up too early for its own good. Freightliner Inspiration Truck. Unveiled in 2015, the Freightliner Inspiration Truck marked a turning point in heavy-duty transportation. Developed by Daimler Trucks in the US, it became the first licensed autonomous truck allowed to operate on public American roads. The goal was simple and ambitious: reduce driver fatigue, improve highway safety, and increase long-haul efficiency. It came with a 14.8-liter inline-six diesel engine, the same as in the Freightliner Cascadia, producing around 455 horsepower. The The setup offered proven reliability with enough power to haul heavy loads on steep grades. The truck featured a 12-speed automated transmission, fine-tuned to work with its autonomous system. Rear-wheel drive and independent air suspension delivered a smooth and steady ride, even on worn-out highways. But what truly set it apart was the tech. It was packed with sensors, cameras, radar, and adaptive cruise control. The cab felt like a pilot's seat. Digital controls, ergonomic seats, and a streamlined dashboard designed for both manual and semi-autonomous operation. Visually, it stood out with sleek LED lighting, soft body lines, and a two-tone paint scheme that gave it a futuristic but grounded appearance. On the road, it was quieter and smoother than most trucks in its class. Despite the excitement, the Inspiration truck hit several roadblocks. Legal uncertainty, high development costs, and the lack of supporting infrastructure slowed the project. The truck could drive itself on highways but still required a driver's full attention. In fact, it made headlines for crossing the Hoover Dam on its own, an impressive PR stunt, but one that didn't translate into widespread production. If that truck felt too advanced for its time, the next one took innovation to the limit with the backing of one of the world's biggest retailers. Walmart Peterbilt WAVE. In 2014, Walmart and Peterbilt introduced the WAVE, short for Advanced Vehicle Experience. This futuristic concept truck was designed to completely rethink freight hauling. With radical aerodynamics, a center-mounted cockpit, alternative energy systems, and lightweight materials, it looked like it drove straight out of a sci-fi film. The WAVE featured a diesel-electric hybrid drivetrain, using a small diesel engine to power a generator that charged onboard lithium-ion batteries. Though the combined output was never officially published, estimates suggest it delivered over 300 horsepower, more than enough to cruise fully loaded. It used an automated transmission with electronic shifting and real-time energy management. Rear-wheel drive and adaptive air suspension allowed for efficient handling under changing load conditions and terrain. The cab was unlike anything else. Entry was through an automatic sliding door. The driver sat in a central command seat, surrounded by curved digital displays. Panoramic visibility, ergonomic seating, and a minimalist interior made the whole experience feel like piloting a spaceship. Even the cabin materials were recycled and sustainable. Outside, it looked like a bullet train on wheels, covered wheels, a sculpted front end. And a carbon fiber trailer helped reduce aerodynamic drag by up to 20%, according to Walmart's internal tests. But the WAVE never made it past the prototype phase. Its high development cost, limitations in battery tech, and the lack of infrastructure to support it kept it from scaling into production. And if you thought this one was too futuristic, wait until you meet the next machine. A desert-born monster from the UAE that was never meant for public roads. Dabian. Few vehicles turn heads the way Dabian does. Built in the United Arab Emirates as a personal project by Sheikh Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan, known internationally as the Rainbow Sheikh for his extravagant vehicle collection, Dabian is a mix of military truck, luxury coach, and off-road beast. Its base is the Oshkosh M1075, a US-made military truck, but it was heavily modified with bus components and custom-built bodywork. A monster with 10 wheels, over 78 feet long, weighing around 52,000 pounds, powered by a 15.2-liter Caterpillar diesel engine, inline-six, delivering an estimated 600 horsepower. It uses a military-grade automatic transmission, built to handle massive loads and rugged terrain. The drivetrain is 8x8, and the suspension is fully independent, with hydraulic adjustments, allowing this giant to cruise through sand dunes and uneven landscapes with ease. Visually, Dhabiyan is overwhelming. Its front cabin resembles a futuristic armored tank, with bulletproof windows and a height equivalent to a two-story building. Inside, it's more like a mobile mansion. Leather sofas, a full sound system, air conditioning, bathroom, and even a kitchen. Built purely to impress, the Dabian was never intended for commercial use. Impracticality on public roads and total lack of real-world function made it more of a collector's display piece than a usable truck. Only one was ever built. Today, it's showcased at the Emirates National Auto Museum in Abu Dhabi, drawing visitors from around the world. Some say the Sheikh himself once gave VIP rides inside the truck during private events. And just when you think you've seen everything in the trucking world, Dabian reminds us that there's always room for something even more extreme, even if it never leaves the showroom. So, which one of these unusual giants caught your eye the most? Today we saw trucks that tried to change everything, from cabin placement to fuel systems, from design to full-blown futuristic tech. These were machines that dared to push boundaries, but were ultimately cancelled due to high costs, lack of market, or simply being too far ahead of their time. These trucks aren't just forgotten projects. They represent an industry that constantly tests limits, dreams big, and sometimes risks everything instead of playing it safe. Each one is a bold step in the evolution of trucking, even if it never made it off the drawing board. Now tell me in the comments, which one would you own just for the looks? Which truck do you think deserved mass production? And which one would you never ever dare to drive? I want to hear your thoughts. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. It really helps the channel grow and tells YouTube that this is content worth sharing, so more people like you can discover the wildest, rarest, and most over-the-top machines ever built. Stay tuned, because every week we drop a new video about the most incredible vehicles ever to hit the road, or the ones that never made it past the prototype. See you in the next video.